Okay, welcome back. Giving another little update on the 572 that I have here that I pulled apart and we did the analysis on a little bit. I was able to sort of make sure that there was nothing trapped in the band. I used a Dano Joe's mandrel cutter, and I got in there just a little bit. It looks a little choppy, right? And then all those are divots and patch marks. And so instead of taking it, because it's starting to drop off into the combustion chamber, I'm going to leave it just like that. I just wanted to make sure that there was nothing embedded in there from whatever was beating the living hell out of the top of it, right? So we're going to go with that. Again, nothing special here, just salvaging things, right? Other than that, the cylinder looks, really good. So my numbers that I had timed, and I didn't do this when it was on the gasket and everything. So scrubbed the base gasket off, scrubbed it off there, put everything back down. And now, even with my band stuff that I work, I'm at 25 thousandths on the squish. Okay, 25 thousandths on the squish is where I like it. I'm going to run with it. So the stock numbers without the gasket before I'm moving anything was 100 on the exhaust, roughly. Might have been 101. 118 on the transfers, upper transfers, and 74 on the intake. Okay, so let's look at what I'll do. So taking that divot out, it gets me about right at 97. So let's see if I can get the light and you properly in there. So it will still have a little dink mark just above it, but I think it's going to be okay. So if I take 3-4 degrees out of the roof of this exhaust, it's going to get that down and blend it in, and it'll be good there. I'm going to move 2 degrees on the upper transfers. So 118, I'm going to go and get you to 116-ish. At least that's the starting point. So go kind of conservative. Intake-wise, now let's look at here. So intake-wise, it's a bigger opening going in and a smaller next to the piston where into the cylinder, right? Or into the case. So I have room that I can go up, and I'm going to move this to 78, 80-ish is where I'm looking, somewhere between there. So that's the goal. But anyways, let's look at this. So I scribed in my mark here, and you can see where the top is. So I have plenty actually before ring gap to actually extend this top up a little bit, to open it up a little bit. Hopefully that idea is going to work out a little bit. I'm going to open that up. Really, I can't widen it, because widening it, I made those marks, as you can kind of see. I don't have hardly any room to widen it, so I'm not going to do that. Not going to touch it. Not going to do that. There's my little scrape mark, and this is all. You can't really feel it. That's my mark for my exhaust side, where that's at. So let's talk about a little bit of an idea I see here on how big my lower transfers are, right? And how small it is. Now I know this has got crank stuffers, and there is there for a reason, and higher RPMs and everything, yada yada yada. Anyways, what I see I'm going to do is I'm going to shove some stuff in here, because I was able to clean this up, and it runs around smooth, right? And so it runs smooth. I don't feel anything in the bearing. So by flushing it, I'm just gonna roll with it, right? So what I see is happening is where the base gasket was, you can kind of see your marks in here. And let me grab something here. So you can kind of, let's go look at it there. Nice big opening, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pack it in here with some modeling clay and keep out my stuff so I don't have to split the case or anything like that. And this witness line right in here is where the gasket was, or where you can kind of see the transfers are. So I'm going to blend this down here and blend it down here so it has a smoother transfer into the lowers and then feeds the uppers. So really the uppers in there, there's only a single, which is kind of interesting. Those other ones are fresh air ports for the strato sides, but there's only a single feed as far as transfer. So yes, there's a ding and this on the bottom, but that's not a big deal. I'll blend that. So I'm gonna reshape that a little bit, give it 2 degrees, reshape it just a little bit, kind of see what we're doing. Now the other thing we can kind of see measured. So I'm using this piston. It's a Chinese special or Taiwan special. I think a lot of pro lines, especially come highways. This one does not have a highway stamping. There's some that have clear highway stampings in them. It's just hugely amusing by me. So I already weighed this. 92 grams is what I have here without rings or anything. So in order to weigh this one, the stock one, even after beating it, as it was, this weighs at 97 grams, okay? So right there, I already have a lighter piston. That's gonna make it a little zingier. Now, the pins, you can see the thick one here, came with the Proline kit. Of course, that is 16 grams. Now, the stock one that I'm going to be using is going to be 12 grams. So right there, that combination is going to save me quite a bit. So I should have better reciprocating weight. And, you know, looking at it, I can blend some edges, may take a little off, but I probably don't have to do a whole lot. So I'm just going to blend these sharp edges down a little bit and then call it good. And then hope that this thing works. So anyways, there you have it. There it is. So I thought I'd show the trenching of the case to try to match up the lowers and get the flow a little bit better, and see how this one performs. I know there's many that has done these up, and so I'm kind of taking a stab in the dark. I've watched them, and you know, with hopefully that roof being 97 on the exhaust, and the intake at 78 to 80, somewhere in that range, and then 116, might be 115 on the upper transfers, somewhere in there. I think we might have something here. So anyways, hopefully you guys stay tuned for some more, and we'll see how this grinding works and go from there. All right, later.